Are you looking for your next page turner? I got 5 methods to help you find it. Let's get into it. Hi everybody, welcome to Rouse and Reads. I'm Nick, and today I'm going to help you find your next good book. So my first method to help you find your next good book is check bestsellers lists. I know, a lot of us do it. It's kind of an obvious one. But the way I like to do it is what I'll look for is I'll look for a book that's in like its 27th installment or something. And sometimes you get disappointed when you find these. You're like, oh, all right, this looks like a novel I want. And then you find out that they're in episode 27 of this book, essentially. And this character's been around and you're going to miss all the character development. Well, look at the plus side of this. You don't have to buy this book. You can go back to book number 1. And guess what? Book number 1 is old, so it's going to be cheap. Or you could probably pick it up for free in some cases. And it helps you get into it. And then if you like it, you got 27 more of those books to look forward to. So that's what I like to do. Now with the first one and the obvious one out of the way, it's time that we look at method number 2. Goodreads.com. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of Goodreads, but it's an awesome tool. And for those that haven't heard of it, the best way, or the way that I like to use it, is you create an account. You rate 20 books that you have read. So out of 5 stars, you rate 20 books. And then they're going to feed you recommendations based off your rating. People that are reviewing on their site are like you and I, and people that are passionate about books that aren't getting paid to review those books. They're paying their own money to buy those books. So it's a great tool. And if you don't, create an account or rate books, they still got a what's popular up top, and then you can sort by books by rating, books by genre. So it's a great database, great tool to help you find your next book. The third method that I use to find books, and probably my most favorite method, and then I'm going to be doing a series on this channel where we highlight these books that are being adapted to the screen. So whether that's a show or a movie. I mean, think about the biggest show in forever, Game of Thrones. Well, it was adapted from a book. So what I like to do is I Google books that are going to be being adapted to the screen in the next 2 years, next 3 years. Pick them out, read them. So I read them before they get in the theaters, and then I have something to look forward to after I read them. Really cool way to do it. Everybody knows the saying that, the book's always better than the movie. Yeah, that might be the case, but some of the shows that are coming out now are really good, and you're going to have good source material if they're paying the money to do the movie or the TV show. That doesn't mean that the show or the movie always turns out great, but the source material is there, and my favorite way to find a good book. Fourth method that I want to highlight for you to help you find your next book is join a book club. Now, book clubs aren't for everybody, but if you're new to a city or a town, it's a good way to meet people, good way to make new friends, and then it gives you kind of a social structure around books. So sometimes, you read that great book, but no one else has read it. That's not the case when you're in a book club. So you can talk about it, you can discuss the themes, and there's different types of book clubs. There's social ones. There are ones that, really want to dive depth into themes and stuff. So you can find, your cup of tea with that. They're not for everybody, but they're definitely a good way to help you find your next good book. The fifth method that I have for you to help you find your next good book is take a visit to your local bookshop. I've never had a bad experience in my local bookshop, and any small bookshop for that matter. I always walk out with a great book, and the staff are usually always friendly and kind, and have great recommendations, and they're readers themselves. I mean, who works in a bookstore that doesn't like to read? Goes for itself, and you're supporting local when you do that. And I got a bonus for you. My sixth method to help you find a great book is your local library. They have literally almost every book out there, and now even some of them support digital, so you can rent the book without even going to the local library. Best part is it's all free. So if you stumble upon a bad book, you didn't pay anything out of pocket, and they're a great resource. You can usually get a decent recommendation from a librarian as well. I love my local library. I recommend that you utilize it. It's a great tool, and many of us forget about it. So that wraps things up for this video. And if you want more of this content, like book reviews and just other methods to help you find your next good book, please subscribe to the channel. See you next time.